Level 1, $20,000. You don't have a home. You have a room. It's in someone else's house, under someone else's rules, with someone else's noise coming through the wall at 2 in the morning. You learn the rhythm of a stranger's life better than your own. When they shower, when they argue, which floorboard groans when they come in late. Rent is $750, and it takes half of everything you earn. For half of everything you earn, you get one room and a shelf and a fridge that isn't yours. You eat standing up in your room because the kitchen belongs to whoever got there first. You time your showers around other people. You carry your shampoo back and forth like a guest in a place you pay to live in. Everything you own fits in one corner, and you keep it that way because some part of you knows this isn't permanent, and packing should stay easy. At night, you lie there and listen to a television through the wall, and you think about a door, not a house, not a garden, just a door that closes on a room where nobody else is allowed. The first rule: at $20,000, you don't have a home. You have an address. Level 2, $35,000 and your own apartment, 1 bedroom, small. Nothing anybody would photograph. But the door locks behind you and the silence on the other side belongs entirely to you. You stand in the middle of it the first night with the lights off, just listening to nothing. And it is the most expensive thing you have ever owned. And you can walk around at 2 in the morning. You can leave a plate on the side. You can be loud or quiet without negotiating it with anyone. Nobody's shampoo but yours. Nobody's schedule but yours. The furniture is cheap and mismatched. A mattress, a lamp, a table you built yourself from a flat box. But you chose every piece of it, and choosing is new. It's still tight. The rent is most of your money, and the walls are thin, and the boiler makes a sound you've learned to ignore. But the tightness moved. It used to sit in your throat. Now it sits in your shoulders. The second rule: at $35,000, home stops being where you sleep and starts being where you can finally exhale. Level 3, $50,000, a better building, a better street, a place you can invite someone to without apologizing for it on the way there. Then one night you run the numbers. $1,200 a month, $14,000 a year, over 5 years, $70,000. And at the end of it, you own nothing, not a brick, not a floorboard. You have been paying off a house this whole time. It just isn't yours. You start looking at listings you can't afford yet. You save searches. You learn what a deposit actually is and how far away it sits from your account. Your friend buys a flat. You're happy for them, genuinely, and something underneath it stings anyway. Same city, same salary, near enough. Different starting line. Parents, timing, luck. You don't say it out loud. The third rule: at $50,000, you learn rent isn't a bill. It's a subscription to somebody else's asset. Level 4, $75,000. Space you chose. Not luxury. Surplus. A second bedroom you don't strictly need. An office. Or a room that's just extra. A kitchen you actually cook in instead of reheat in. A neighborhood where you sleep through the night without listening for anything. The upgrade isn't dramatic. It's that you stopped optimizing. You didn't take the cheapest place that worked. You took the one you wanted within reason, and the difference in how you walk through your own front door is enormous. You buy things for the place now. A chair because it's comfortable. A lamp because you like the light it makes at 7 in the evening. Nothing about that is practical, and that's the point. The fourth rule: at $75,000, home stops being what you could get and starts being what you picked. Level 5, $100,000. The keys. The deposit took years. The paperwork took months. The survey found things you didn't understand, and you paid someone to explain them. And then a stranger hands you a set of keys, and you stand in an empty room that echoes, and it's yours. You expected to feel like you'd arrived. What you feel is the weight, 30 years of payments sitting on your chest in a room with no furniture in it. Because the day you get the keys is the day everything becomes yours. The boiler is yours now. The roof is yours. The damp patch behind the washing machine is yours. Nobody is coming to fix it. There's no landlord to email. There's only you, a bank, and a very long calendar. You love it anyway. You paint a wall a color you chose, and it feels like signing your name. The fifth rule. At $100,000, you stop paying rent and start paying for everything. That trade is what owning actually is. Level 6. $150,000, a proper house, a garden, or something close enough to call one. A spare room that becomes whatever the year needs it to be. Maintenance turns into a calendar entry instead of a crisis. Something breaks and you get someone in, instead of watching a video at midnight with a torch in your mouth. The house stops fighting you. You start doing things to it that aren't repairs. You plant something. You knock through a wall. You buy a table big enough for people you haven't invited yet. And the house fills with the specific evidence of life. Marks on a door frame. A dent in the plaster nobody remembers making. A chair that only one person sits in. The sixth rule. At $150,000, the house stops being a problem you manage and becomes the place that holds your life. Level 7. $250,000. The address starts talking before you do. People hear where you live and adjust. Some warmer, some cooler, all of it slightly false. You stop mentioning the extension, you stop mentioning the second bathroom. Not shame, just an instinct that some things don't translate. Old friends visit less. Nobody decided it. The drive got longer, the diaries got fuller, and something quietly reorganized itself. The house is genuinely beautiful. It's also bigger than your life. There are rooms you don't enter for weeks. You find yourself living in about a third of it. The kitchen, one sofa, one window, and the rest is just maintained. The seventh rule. At $250,000, the house gets bigger, and the circle inside it gets smaller. Level 8. $500,000. Property plural. There's a second place now, maybe a third. They appear on a spreadsheet with yields and rates beside them. Somebody else cleans them. Somebody else fixes them. You could not tell a stranger where the stopcock is in your own house. The word changes. It isn't home in these conversations. It's the property, the portfolio, the asset. And the moment a house becomes an asset, some part of it stops being a house. You walk through rooms that are decorated perfectly and feel almost nothing because nothing in them happened to you. The eighth rule. At $500,000, you stop living in your house and start managing it. Level 9. $1 million and you can live anywhere. That's the strange part. Several places have your name on the deed. You could wake up tomorrow near a coast or a city or a mountain, and no one would stop you. Every door is open, which turns out to be its own kind of question. And what you notice quietly over a long time is that you keep ending up in the same room, the same chair, the same window, the same hour of the morning, the same cup going cold beside you, while the light moves across the floor. Not the biggest room, not the most expensive one, just the one where you stop performing, the one where nobody needs anything from you, and you aren't proving anything to anyone. You spent every level below this one trying to buy your way to that feeling. And the feeling turned out to cost nothing. It was never square footage. It was safety and quiet, and being somewhere nobody can ask you to leave. The ninth rule. At $1 million, you finally learn what every level was teaching you. A house is what you buy. Home is what's left when you stop needing to prove anything. Somewhere right now, someone is lying in a rented room, listening to a stranger's television through the wall, doing the maths on a deposit that feels a lifetime away. They're not dreaming about a mansion. They're dreaming about a door. They think the goal is the house. It isn't. It's the morning you wake up somewhere that belongs to you, and the room is quiet and nobody is coming, and you realize that's all you were ever actually chasing.